Hi students, and welcome to English 1001 Critical Thinking and Writing. My name is Professor Allison Bosser, and I'm excited to welcome you guys to our class this semester. Here's what this lecture is going to go over today. I'm going to start by talking about the course, its overview, student learning outcomes, what you can expect to learn by the end of the course. I'll go over parts of the syllabus. I'll talk about the course structure, my communication policy, and then finally I'll end you with some technical assistance. Before we jump in, I'd like to introduce myself to you. You can see a picture here of my little family, including our dog. We can't forget him. I've been in the classroom for about a decade. I've taught everything from 6th grade and up. I have my bachelor's degree in English from CBU. A secondary teaching credential, which allowed me to teach K-12, also from CBU, and my master's from Arizona State University. Some of my interests and hobbies include being in the outdoors, going boating, wakeboarding, hiking, paddleboarding. I love to read, and I'm always looking for some good book recommendations, so if you have any, I always like to hear those. I also enjoy crocheting, and as you can see by my picture here, I am a loyal Angels baseball fan. This is a photo here of my family at a banana ball game at Angels Stadium, but I have been an Angels fan for a very long time, and was even at the home games of the 2002 World Series, so that's kind of my fun fact that I like to share with people. Okay, so let's look at our course overview. In this course, you should expect to develop critical thinking, reading, and writing skills, and we're going to focus on your understanding of argument. And we'll be developing your critical reasoning through a written analyses, and we'll do that by writing evaluation, causal, and proposal arguments. Those are your three main essays this semester. This course is 100% online and asynchronous, meaning that you will be given your course materials and assignments to complete weekly, and there are deadlines for the course. And so I'll go over that in just a moment. I do hold office hours on Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. via Zoom. Feel free to just drop in. If I'm working with another student, you'll be placed in the waiting room, so just hang tight until I can meet with you. All of your course materials are available on Canvas. That's where you're going to find everything for this class. I'll make your modules available on Mondays. And every week you're going to have discussion boards, and your initial reply to the discussion board, your personal individual reply, will be due on Fridays, and you'll be required to respond to 2 peers by Sunday before midnight. Okay, and everything else will have a due date of Sunday at 11:59. Here are your student learning outcomes. So these are the things that you can expect to learn by the end of the course. First is write well-organized and reasoned arguments in standard English that demonstrate critical analysis supported by sufficient evidence. And second is evaluate secondary sources and cite those sources correctly using MLA and/or APA documentation in a research essay of substantial length. And so all of your papers here will be 5 to 7 pages, about 5,000 words. And so you will be able to see these learning outcomes reflected in your rubrics on Canvas. To access our syllabus for this course, you can find it on Canvas. If you go to the navigation menu on the left-hand side, click on syllabus, or if you go to modules and you go to the course orientation module, which is the first one you should see, you can find our syllabus there. You are responsible as the student for reading through the entire syllabus. I'm going to go over a few things today, including your textbook, first roll call, participation, late work, and academic honesty. So textbook information first. The textbook that we will be working with this semester is called How Arguments Work by Anna Mills. And this is an OER textbook, meaning that it's no cost to you. And so you will find the link for that on Canvas if you go to the navigation menu and click on course materials, or again, you can find it in the course orientation modules if you click on modules on the navigation menu. Okay, so we ask that you download the PDF version of the textbook to your device. That's probably going to be the easiest way to access it as we move through this class. Additionally, you guys will need to complete your student learning contract, and this is found in the course orientation module, and it will be due Friday at 11:59 of the first week of the course, and you must complete it at this date in order to remain in the class. You can think of this as a roll call for an in-person class. If you don't complete it by this date, unfortunately, you will be dropped from the class, and I don't want to have to do that. So make sure that you set a reminder for yourself to complete this by Friday. After you complete the student learning contract and you go all the way through the course orientation module, which will include things like a syllabus quiz and student introductions, that is when you will have access to module 1. Also from the syllabus is my commitment to RSI, which stands for regular substantive interaction. And so this means that I'm going to be interacting with you throughout the course. I'll be commenting on all of your critical essays. You'll have 3 of those, and your final project, which will be due the last week of the course. During the week, when there are graded discussion boards, I will reply with 10 comments throughout the discussion board throughout the week. I will also email and general question discussion board posts, and I will include weekly announcements with academic content. So I'll post those announcements on Monday. And I'll be monitoring the, discussion board where you can post questions about the course as well as my email. So assurance of regularity, this class is going to have a minimum of 12 RSI activities, and it's distributed throughout the entire course. There will be 8 discussion board assignments that are worth points, and then 4 additional assignments, which includes essays and a project that will receive this RSI. Every single student in this virtual classroom is going to experience interaction from me on a regular basis. And the best way that you're going to be able to see the interaction, aside from the discussion boards, is through the speed grader on Canvas. And so that allows me to grade with a rubric, and it has an explanation of the grading criteria and the points that you get for all of those papers. I'll also comment directly on the essays that you submit with a 3 to 5 sentence end comment. So you'll certainly get lots of feedback from me in this course. So that is my commitment to you to regularly interact with you during the class. Here are my expectations for you as a student during this course. So this course is going to require 6 to 8 hours of work a week. You're certainly going to want to spread that out. Don't wait until Sunday to get it done because you are going to have assignments, discussion boards due on Friday. So it's very important that you are checking Canvas and your email several times a week. And I even recommend logging in on Monday so that you can see my weekly announcements as we move through the course. I also am expecting you to participate in discussion forums. As mentioned, you should be posting a response by Friday evening before midnight and responding to 2 peers by Sunday evening before midnight, Pacific Standard Time. Make sure that you are also proofreading your writing for grammar and punctuation errors. You can press edit to revise anything. And make sure you're dialoguing cordially with your classmates, even when we have disagreements, which will certainly come up in a class like this when we are doing a lot of critical thinking and writing arguments and things like that. Just remember that tone is difficult to discern when you're reading essentially strangers posts, right? These are your classmates, but we're not sitting in class together. Think about when you get a text from someone and if there aren't any emojis or punctuation, right? It's hard to discern if someone is being sarcastic or not. So just keep that in mind when you guys are interacting on the discussion board. Just be kind and cordial to your classmates. Here's my late work policy. You are expected to submit your discussion and assignments on time, and those are clearly laid out for you on Canvas. You can set reminders for the calendar on Canvas, so I would make sure that you do that or put it in a planner, something like that. However, I do accept late work, and I'll accept late work up to 72 hours late. So that would be Wednesday before midnight for us. And every day that you turn in your assignment late, there will be a 25% reduction, and then the assignment will close and you'll no longer have access to it. Sometimes, when we're working with technology, things happen and maybe we don't know if an assignment was submitted. You think it is, but you're not really sure. Just make sure to reach out to me 24 hours before the deadline of the assignment if you want me to confirm that I have it in my possession and it actually has been uploaded. I always recommend to students to double check and make sure that your assignment has been received on Canvas. If you click out too early as it's loading, then sometimes it won't upload. So you want to see the confetti after you hit submit, okay? Here's our course structure. The entire course is out of 100 points. And this is kind of what you can expect every single week. Textbook readings, there are some videos sprinkled here and there for you to watch. I provide video lectures every week, and then there are also some additional written lectures that are like knowledge building to kind of add on to the topic. You'll take a couple of practice quizzes just to confirm that you understand the content from the textbook reading and from the lectures. And you're going to be doing a lot of reading of sample essays and other exemplary texts to help you understand sort of how you can plan your own writing and organize your own writing. And so you will be analyzing other texts as well. As we've mentioned, discussion boards, there will be 8 of them throughout the entire semester, plus 3 critical essays, evaluation, causal, and proposal, and then you'll have a final project due at the end of the semester. And you can go into the assignments list or even the syllabus list to see how the points are distributed. Okay, lastly, from our syllabus, I'd like to speak on academic honesty because I do take academic honesty very seriously. So you are expected to use digital tools, and this includes using AI, artificial intelligence, in ways that are going to truly support your learning and they're going to align with the course objectives. So I will let you know when and how these tools may be used, such as AI. And if you do choose to interact with AI, you will be required to disclose and reflect on that use as part of the assignment submission. And I have a link in our course module or course orientation module that shows you how you can disclose your use of AI. Okay, so looking at AI use, the use of generative AI tools, this might be ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. It is permitted in the course in the following ways, but if you use it in these ways, I need you to disclose that use when you submit your assignments. This includes discussion boards and critical essays in your final project. So you can use AI to brainstorm and refine your ideas, to fine tune your research questions, to do preliminary, finding information on your topic. But really, you should be doing truly your own research, right? You can draft an outline to help you organize your thoughts, and you can use it for feedback to check grammar and style. Grammarly is a great tool that is considered generative AI. And so if you do use Grammarly, just make sure that you disclose that. Okay, these are not permitted uses of AI in this class. We never want artificial intelligence to impersonate you in the classroom context. This might mean using AI to compose discussion board responses or even peer reviews, which you will be engaging in. So please do not put someone else's paper into an AI tool to get feedback. So that would be an impersonation of your work. Make sure that you're doing your discussion board and your peer reviews. Make sure that that's your own original work. AI should never be used to write a draft of a writing assignment, and it should never write entire sentences, paragraphs, or papers to complete class assignments. I really want this to be your own critical thinking, but AI can definitely help us. In kind of preliminary stages to help us refine some of our ideas. But ultimately, what I'm looking for in this class is that you demonstrate your own critical reasoning. Okay? Here's my communication policy. There's my email. You can also find it on Canvas. Feel free to message me on Canvas chat or in the Canvas inbox if you have questions. There's also a student lounge where you can ask questions to your classmates, or there is a course-related questions forum that I can monitor as well. And there are some examples in our course orientation module that show you, the kind of questions that you can ask for each of those forums. In terms of communication, it'll take me at least 36 hours to respond to your messages. I work at a total of 3 schools, so I'm managing a lot of different systems and a lot of different email platforms. So please give me at least a day and a half to get back to you. Okay, and then finally, tech assistance. There are some things that I will not be able to help you with when it comes to technology, but we do have support through Coastline. You can always reach out to the Canvas help support, which is linked on Canvas and in the syllabus. There's also a help button on, if you're looking at your Canvas, you have your Canvas page open, there's a help button over on the navigation side, on the left-hand side of your screen, so lower left corner. And you can use that button to contact the support team, and they typically have a very good response time. You can also call our district IT help desk support. So there's the number for you there if you need it. Okay. And I'd just like to leave you with this last quote from Plutarch, which says, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." And I hope that this class encourages you to participate in some active learning, to develop critical reasoning, to develop your writing skills, your voice, your style. And I am here for you guys to help you do that. So please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns. I'm looking forward to a great course, everyone.